Okay, so this video is, I owe you a big apology. Each one of these has gone longer than I thought it would, but this video is yet another reincarnation of my last 10 for the 30 YouTube videos, YouTube personalities that I have enjoyed watching in my trek to get here. So I wanted to go over the last 10 that I have on my list. And I also wanted to add just at the beginning, so it's out of the way, there are a lot of YouTube creators, and I certainly do not know or have seen all of them. It has felt at times like I've watched every single one, because there was a little while there where I had to spend a lot of time not doing much but watching YouTube videos and playing silly phone games. But there are a lot of creators that I do not personally know, or that I've only come in contact with since becoming more active on the YouTube channels and platforms and chats and things like that. There are several that I know that I've run into that are very good within just the last couple of weeks that I did not know prior to then. So please do not feel insulted if you are not on this list. I mean, why would you? I'm a random internet stranger, but do not feel insulted if you are not on my list. It just may be that I have not seen you, do not know, only knew you recently before I created the list. This will be revisited, I feel like, in the future with more in-depth look at other channels. I'm not as good at the interview thing, I don't think, as some of the others, but I do think probably in-depth kind of, overviews of somebody's channel is pretty cool. So, all right, so here we go on our last 10 for the 30. I'll put the links again in the description, probably tomorrow once I've had a chance to write each person and say, hey, a crazy stalker lady mentioned you in her YouTube video and you don't know her, but that's cool. Just, she talked about you in a good way, not a creepy way. So first on our list is a name you all know, I'm sure. I feel like everyone knows. Rally Roots. Rally Roots is a great couple, although at this point I almost feel like they're a brand. Like they've almost gotten to the point where, it's Rally Roots. It's like Q-tips and Kleenex. So anyway, so Rally Roots, they are a pretty cool couple. And what I take away most from their videos, it's been really fantastic watching them grow, first of all. What I have really taken away has been some of the things that they pick up, like especially the vintage t-shirts. I feel like that's like a thing they're known for, is the vintage t-shirts, and definitely the vintage like 80s windbreaker. I feel like that's almost their market right there, But anyway, the thing that I have carried away specifically from their videos has been with t-shirts that I might pass over a lot of times at the stores or at yard sales or whatever. They will snag because they're vintage and they get top dollar for them online. And I just think that's fantastic, because I will probably still keep passing over these things, because I am often terrified about purchasing something that's a bad buy that will just sit and sit and sit and sit and sit. And I will have, I'll be 80 and my kids and grandkids will be emptying out my house talking about, why I have all this stuff, Grandma. So, but that just amazes me. They were one of the first people that I would see picking up things like the windbreaker, like I've seen them pick up so many windbreakers. For a long time, it was the Tommy Bahama shirts, right? And now, of course, word's gotten out. Like the Tommy Bahama is saturated. But but they really, you know, they'll a lot of times pick up something at a yard sale or a garage sale or whatever, and I'll just be, well, why do you pick that up? You're not going to make anything with that. And then they do. So anyway, so they have a lot to offer, and they're watching them grow again has just been phenomenal. And I think that you know, it's a good motivator for getting started, or you know, continuing on your journey as a reseller. So I think they have a lot to offer. Take a look at them. Millie and Monica. I'm gonna let you know. One of them is a dress form. I feel bad because I feel like I feel like that poor girl answers that question so many times in her videos. She's always asked about where's your other person, and she's like, it's my dress form that named that, which is just hilarious to me. But she is super, super sweet, and I really like her videos. She was, now I can't say that this is true recently, because for whatever reason she hasn't popped up as much on my feed, but the videos that I had been watching of hers, she was really fantastic about putting her numbers out there and saying, you know, this is what I paid, this is where I went, this is the haul I got, these are the items I got, this is right, like giving all of the information, and then telling you what things sold for, as well as her costs at the end of the day, and then her net profit. And I always like when people do that, because there are a lot of sellers that put on their YouTube channels and in their videos, you know, oh, it was a $600 day, but it was a $600 day, and I have no idea what you spent on the item, nor do I have any idea what the other costs going in are. You know, do you have a tiered eBay store? Are you paying for List Perfectly or some other cross-listing service? You know, things like that. So there's a lot of information that sometimes isn't given, and she is one of the people that really makes sure, I feel like, to include all of that. So she's a valuable one to watch. Next is another sort of I don't know, household name in reselling. Lindy Glenn. I like Lindy Glenn because she's fun. She really is fun. I like watching her unboxing videos. And I don't know if that's just part of the thing. Like, I don't know if all resellers like unboxing videos, or if it's just a thing I like. Because I would not normally do, like, I'm not one of those people that would get like mystery reseller boxes from other resellers or on Poshmark or, you know, other places. Like, that's not a thing for me to order something and to not know what's in it. Now, I have ordered pallets in the past, knowing exactly what was on the manifest, and then lining that up with what I received and, you know, then sold, right? But I'm not a, you know, I don't know. I'm not big in that kind of surprise, right? Like, it's just not my thing. But I love watching her do the unboxings. And she's very good about saying, again, what the numbers are and what she spent, and showing you kind of, this is how things are set up and this is how I do my business. I really, really cannot stress how much I enjoy that, because I have not found one reseller that I just identify with top to bottom. I typically find a reseller and I find something about them that I can take away and use in my business. And so I might take a thing from Flipped with Chris, and I might take a thing from Nurse Flipper, and I might take a thing from Matt, Part-Time Pickers, and I might take a thing from Harry Tornado, right? But all of those things then factor into how I do my business, as well as my own personal spin on how to do it. So I like Lindy Glenn. I've picked up a lot of things from her. All right, so next is Investment Joy. Investment Joy is not like a reseller in the way that you picture reselling. He tends to buy properties and then rents them out. And his channel is devoted to essentially making money. He lives in a small little place, I believe, at least based on what I've seen of his videos. I haven't paid close enough attention to see exactly where it is, but he lives in a place where he talks an awful lot about it being kind of a small town, and that basically if he can do it, if he can purchase a piece of land or he can purchase a rental property and rent it out and make money, then you can too. And so one of the things that I had watched or followed for a little while was when he purchased a laundromat and then, proceeded to do videos about this is how I bought it. This is exactly how I bought it. This is the cost I put into it. And these are the improvements I'm making, etc. And then also with his rental properties, he'll talk about, what he has spent on doing any kind of upgrade and then rent and things like that. He's very, very straightforward. So anyway, so I have enjoyed his channel. And like I said, it is not reselling in the way that, typical reselling happens. But I still do find useful things in it that do apply to my business. And so hopefully you'll think it's interesting too. Next is Taco Stacks. And Taco Stacks is, he's a PA guy, which is fantastic. So, but I've seen several of his videos and I just really like he does a lot of sales, I believe, at flea markets and things like that, where he sets up at them. And that's, it's really cool to watch him get something, whether it was get something off the curb or get something from a friend or do an exchange or whatever, have items and then sell them at his flea market, and then you get to kind of follow him around as he's doing these things. So I watched him, one of the things I watched him do is he was kind of talking as he was walking through a place. I don't know if I'm remembering this correctly. I think it might have been a place that Blue Bus Dave was clearing out, maybe. And then Taco Stacks was like going through it, and he was kind of doing commentary as he was going through it, and he was picking up things, and then he would talk about it for a minute or two and, go on to the next thing. And I thought that was super interesting because, you see a lot of YouTube folks do, they're doing garage sales and yard sales and things. And as they're going through, a lot of times you'll see them pick something up and put it down. And then later on, they'll come back and they'll make a comment about it. And maybe it'll be in that video and maybe it won't be. But it was fun. He was in a position where he was able to just openly talk about items as he was picking them up and putting them down. And, what things that he knew had value and what things he didn't. He was very, very open about, this looks like something that I should probably pick up, but I know for a fact that this other thing is something. So I'm going to take this other thing and put this thing that I'm not sure of over here and just not deal with that, right? Like he was super upfront about that, which I like also, because I really like it when someone says, I don't know everything about this thing, that we're all doing. I know bits and pieces. So it's really nice. And that happens a lot. There are a lot of people who are very open, usually the people that I watch, that are just very open and straightforward about those things. And they do not give the impression that they, know everything there is about reselling. They're happy to learn things as they go as well. So next is, this actually is one of my son's favorite. He loves Resale Rabbit. And I like his videos too. He is very chatty, and he will walk you through his eBay sales. He's got a full warehouse, and if I'm recalling correctly, he's currently got two like a front end of a warehouse that he's also renting in addition to his regular warehouse that he has. So he's got an actual warehouse, which is just that's super cool. Like I don't know that I have ambitions to ever have like an entire warehouse like that, but I think it's super cool that he has one, and I do like to watch when he gets pallets in, as well as when the things that he will sell. I'm always amazed. They're like the last couple of days. Someone purchased like all of the last of a set of shoes that he had, that he has been selling for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. And every video you see, somebody bought a pair of these shoes. And every time I see those shoes, I think, who would buy those? Like, those are hideous. What? But I wouldn't have gotten those, you know? So, but people are buying them, and they're buying them at his price. So I think that's fantastic that, you know, he does that. And I think that I do like his idea of having his dollar sales. He will run dollar sales. I can't remember how often it is, if it's once every month or once every couple of months, but he will run a sale where the first day or two, I want to say it's like $5, and then it goes down to the last day and it's $1. Anything you find is $1. And I think that that is really a fantastic way of liquidating stale inventory, that at that point you're hopefully in the profit on with the other sales that you've made, and you're able to just let it go to get it out the door in order to make room for other stuff, more stuff, fresher stuff. And I really like that. I think that's fantastic. I've seen a couple of resellers do a similar thing, except they have yard sales instead of dollar days at a warehouse, right? So I just think that's pretty fantastic. So Resale Rabbit, I really like him. I've been watching him since I want to say around the time my son was born, when I was stuck at home, not lifting things and not doing a lot of things. So I want to say it's been that long that I've been kind of watching his stuff. All right, so next is not reselling in exactly the same way as most of us do. And this is Curiosity Inc. They are in Canada, which is just fantastic. And the gentleman, he is so great. He is just sincere and sweet. He and his wife, his whole family, as far as I can tell, but he and his wife are just so caring about other people. I've seen several videos where they go out of their way to try and do things to help someone else that just has nothing to do with pushing an agenda, let's say, right? Like there are videos included, but I don't know. It's not as though, anyway, they are fantastic. I do not feel that they are of course intentionally monetizing their channel, but I think that he really does document for the documentation factor, which is wonderful. Like, I love that. That is really fantastic. And he finds some really cool stuff. And dude is super retro. He is very interested in, you know, this very 50s sort of vibe. So I like watching him. He and his wife, you get to see his wife now and then too, which is lovely, and his kids. So it's really nice. But I love to see their shop. I love to see the things they get into, any direction they go. I like watching them. They're a lot of fun. So when I'm just watching something, you know, just as a fun thing to do and to relax sometimes at night, that's a thing that I would put on to watch at nighttime, rather than, we don't watch TV again. So, this replaces my Bachelor or whatever it is that people are watching. All right, so in the last video I mentioned, but I'm going to mention again, this is Guys Without Jobs, and that's hosted by Cincinnati Picker and Shed Flips, Garage Flips, Shed Flips, Lonnie. And that it is a really great, they're doing a podcast as well as then filming it for YouTube. And I have really enjoyed that. And another thing that I really like about it, not that you guys need my approval, but the other thing I really like is that they do the full podcast video blog, but then they also cut out snippets and put just snippets of 10 or 15 minutes. So like the podcast, the vlog itself might go for over an hour that they're chatting back and forth, but they'll cut out snippets of 10 minutes or 12 minutes or 8 minutes or whatever, and they'll pop that section on YouTube separately, so that if you're not a person who has over an hour to dedicate to just listening to something or watching something, you have 6 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever, and then maybe you come back to the other one later, maybe you don't, and so I like that, because there have been times that I've wanted something quick and easy and fun, and so I've turned to that on purpose. And I hope they make this a regular feature. But they spent some time going over things that people have sent them in comments, things that people have posted about them either on their YouTube or probably also on their Instagram and in their private messages. But they have read those out loud, and I love that. I think we need more of that in the world because people are crazy. So, all right. Next is Commonwealth Picker. And I'm gonna make funny faces because I've gum. Commonwealth Picker is, I really like Commonwealth Picker. He has this whole, I don't know if that's a garage that he has, or if it's a shed that's separate from his house, or if it's in his house and it's part of the basement, right? Like, I don't know. But he has a room, and then he has another space that he has storage for things for eBay. And I actually like watching him go out to garage sales and make purchases and things like that. And there were a couple of videos. It was a lot of fun. I liked these were actually my favorite. He had a couple of videos where he was kind of like mentoring this young man. I don't know if he had taught him previously or what. I don't know the whole backstory, but there was a young man who was, late teens, early 20s. And he was helping this young man like pick up things at a garage sale, a rummage sale, etc., and trying to show him things that he could flip for pretty good money. And it was the communication was funny, because I feel as though how I've done this. I've been at a yard sale with a friend, and they've mentioned to me like, I want to, I kind of want to, I wouldn't mind reselling some stuff. And they'll pick up something and look at it and then put it back down. And I'll kind of look at them and I'll say, I don't know. I think that, you should pick up that glassware and like, you should take that with you. I think that you really need to take that home with you. And I'll like be giving them the death eye, like, no, really, you should be picking that up and taking it with you. And and I feel like that's what those videos felt like for me. Like I would hear him say something to the young man, and you could see that the young man just wasn't quite, didn't get the hint or something, and and so I loved watching those videos because I can relate to that with my young adult as well as just people in general. So anyway, those are my favorite that of recents that I had seen of his from this past summer. All right, so this next one, this one is not at all about reselling. It is just not. It is called Large Family Table, and it is, I don't actually know how to pronounce her first name properly. I don't know if I've ever heard her say her first name. I'm sure that she has, and I've probably just not been able, not either things have been going on and I haven't been able to hear it or whatever, but I think it's Jan Morell Stewart. But she does not do reselling. I think that this is very related to reselling because it is a way of saving money, which is kind of, to me, the opposite side of the coin. So, one side of the coin is making money by selling things that people want at a rate of which they will pay. But the other side of that same coin, to me, is saving money on things that I have to buy anyway. And she does this whole video series. It's all about saving money and meal prepping and saving money at the grocery and feeding a lot of people on not a lot of money. And so she talks about, she has covered topics like preserving foods, and she's covered topics about couponing and how she does her shopping, as well as looking through the flyers and finding what the best prices are, and then building her menu for the week around what's on sale, essentially. And then and she freezes a lot of it, so they'll spend one whole day, or she'll spend with some of her kids on one whole day meal prepping a bunch of meals. And then you'll see her talk about how she's accomplished all of that, and then she'll pull out and show you what the actual meals are. And she is, I know she probably doesn't think of herself as super organized, but and it doesn't, her videos sometimes when you're watching her work doesn't seem super organized, but in reality she typically keeps like a whiteboard or a list or whatever, and she refers back to it, like, oh, I'm making these objects, and this is, I have to do this, and then I can do this, and then I can do this. And so it's fantastic to watch. If you just as a one-off, if you've never seen her, take a look, watch one of the videos. I've gotten a lot of good information from her. All right, so next is Craigslist Hunter. And this is a pretty obvious one that most folks in the reselling community know. I have seen Craigslist Hunter around for a good while. And I think even before, oh gosh, it's been a good while that I've known about Craigslist Hunter. So, and he is just very kind. He's very kind-hearted. And his videos are very direct as well. He will post about, how he's gotten an item and, what he's done to it, and then how he's flipped it. And I love watching that. I really enjoy it. Lately, I just recently watched him in a live chat with some other creators, and that was actually a lot of fun. He answered a ton of questions, and it was a lot of fun to watch him, and he stuck around for quite a long while. It was a couple of hours, I believe. So, okay, and this last one, the last one for today, for our list, is also not reselling related. It is more on the end of saving things related. And this is Simple Living Alaska. So the reason they're on the list, I know y'all think I'm crazy. The reason they're on the list is that that it ties into that saving money is the other side of the coin for me from, selling things. But in my mind, like, if things seem hard or seem insurmountable, or I'm having a problem that I'm trying to work through mentally, sometimes it helps me to take a look at people who are doing things in situations that in my mind are so much harder than what I'm doing. So, I live in rural Pennsylvania, and sometimes, I kind of whine a little bit about, there's no this here, there's no that here, blah blah blah. These people, these people are making it go in Alaska, and that's just no fooling around. I mean, that's a whole new level of work right there. So, when I get a little down and want to be whiny about, the stuff that we have to do around our farm or whatever, this is a good thing to keep in mind. So bringing me back to reality is what that channel is especially good for. And they have some fantastic hints and tips and information about, just growing things and preserving things, and just, the way that they are doing things where they live. And I think that that is super, super valuable. So one of the last series of theirs that I watched was they built a cold cellar. Here in Pennsylvania, we call it a root cellar. But they had to build one. And so, they dug it out and everything, and they had to work together to do it. And then they basically filled sandbags with the dirt that came out of the hole they dug as the walls. So anyway, so that series, that playlist, it was super, super useful and a lot of fun to watch. Both I and the little guy really got into that. So it's been really nice watching them do things. And so that is the end of my list of 30. And I apologize again for how long it took me to get these 3 videos out. When I first decided I was going to do this, I did not realize that that we would be, at home for this length of time, and I would be juggling all of the jobs. So, sometimes my days are a lot longer than I think that they're going to be. Anyway, so that's it. And I want to thank everyone who has watched these. And please, if you found them useful at all, of course, press the like button. And if you can tolerate my rambling, please press the subscribe button, because I'm hoping to get better. So feel free, as always, feel free to send me messages or to put comments down. I'm happy to reply to comments. And you're welcome to take a look over on Instagram and take a look at me too. So thanks very much for your time, and I appreciate every minute. Thank you.